A logo, ACB in print and braille. American Council of the Blind. Together for a Bright Future. 64th Annual National Conference and Convention. General Session. Monday, July 7th, 2025.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get started. All right, can we please have our recognition of our corporate sponsors?
We extend our heartfelt thanks to our 2025 conference gems. Their ongoing generosity and support of the American Council of the Blind, as well as our annual conference and convention, are deeply appreciated. Diamond sponsors: JP Morgan, Meta, Microsoft, Vanda, Waymo. Emerald sponsors: Amazon, Google, Verizon. Ruby sponsors: AT&T, CVS Health, Envision, Gerard Boucher, Humanware, Spectrum, Vispero. Onyx sponsors: ACB Families, IRA, American Printing House, Be My Eyes, Bosma, Democracy Live, Guiding Eyes for the Blind, T-Mobile, United Airlines. Choral sponsors: ACB Lions, Council of Citizens with Low Vision, Edward Jones, Library Users of America, National Industries for the Blind, Penny Forward, Userv, Waymap, Zooks, Buell Foundation. Pearl sponsors: Giga, Enhanced Voting.
Individual sponsors: Titanium, Christopher Bell, Deb Cook-Lewis, Michael Deaver, Brian Duffelmeyer, Alice Massa, Maria Stone, Tim Stone.
Platinum: Andrew Arvidsson, Marjorie Beeman, Betsy Doan, Tyson Ernst, John Gassman, Larry Gassman, Michael Golfo, Eric Malcolm, Roberta McCall, Glenn McCulley, Ursula McCulley, Edwin Rumsey, Vita Zavoli.
Gold: Shane Aguilera, Colette Arvidsson, Kimberly Avila, Joe Lynn Bailey Page, Sean Barrett, Jennifer Bazer, Conrad Bennett, Viola Benson, Elaine Boykin, Barbara Brown, Donna Brown, Elisa Bush, Karen Campbell, Ray Campbell, Jason Castingay, Charles Cronin, Mary Ellen Cronin, Virginia DeBlay, Janet Dickelman, Margot Downey, Jason Trapper, Stephen Dresser, Kathleen Duke, Mike Duke, Grady Ebert, Joyce Feinberg, Tom Frank, Catherine Frederick, David Goldstein, Howard Goldstein, Vicky Golightly, Christopher Gray, Mary Heroyan, Brian Hartgen, Peter Heidi, Susan Heidi, Debbie Hill, Marilee Hill Kennedy, Cynthia Harakawa, George Holliday, Donald Horn, Kathleen Hudziak, Christine Hunsinger, Douglas Hunsinger, Linda Hunt, Douglas Ingram, Connie Giacomini, Peter Giacomini, Linda Johnson, Richard Johnson, Victoria Kennedy, Rita Kirsch, Amanda Lee, Gary Legates, Ninette Legates, Barbara Lombardi, Kathy Lyons, Jean Mann, John McCann, Rick Morin, Kate Morse, Charles Neverett, Zachary Nipper, Cecily Nipper Sr., Terry Pacheco, Donna Pomerantz, Mitchell Pomerantz, Chris Prentice, Sherry Richardson, Johanna Ruoff, Adam Ruschival, Carla Ruschival, Annalie Russo, Marilyn Sanders, Lori Scharf, Patrick Sheehan, Dennis Sims, Thomas Spoon, Michael Stern, James Swartz, Randy Talla, Howard Thomas, Janice Thomas, Joseph Tingler, Lee Tucker, Patricia Tussing, Daphne Villarreal.
Silver: Mary Abramson, Dave Adams, Anthony Acamini, Albert Anderson, Ralph Anderson, Roseanne Ashby, Judy August, Andrew Baracco, Steve Bauer, Artis Bazin, Kevin Burkery, Norma Boge, Rick Boggs, Christina Brino, Lisa Brooks, Ronald Brooks, Margaret Bookman Garcia, Carolyn Burley, Laura Lee Kastner, Brian Charlson, Kim Charlson, Enchia Petta, Teresa Christian, Ryan Cordell, Christy Crespin, Edward Crespin, Teresa Curry, Elizabeth Davidson, Christopher Devon, Rita Dillek, Marcy Duty, Lucy Edmonds, Marcia Farrow, Michael Garrett, Peggy Garrett, Mary Ann Grignan, Deborah Grubb, Jennifer Harnish, Nona Heroyan, Jeffrey Harris, Rochelle Hart, Debbie Hazelton, Cindy Hollis, Melody Holloway, Samantha Hubbard, Jim Girac, Samuel Joel, Eldon Kaiser, Deborah Kendrick, Donald Coors, Geraldine Coors, Thomas Love, Eugene Lozano, Julie McCullough, Dale McQuirk, Sue McQuirk, Gary Messman, Pamela Metz, Jason Miller, Michael Moran, Rosalind Nadler, Bet Pasanante Rodriguez, Amanda Petrie-Sin, Linda Porel, Carl Richardson, Shirley Roberts, Deborah Robinson, Sherry Rogers, Susan Rogers, Michael Russell, Audrey Shading, Nicole Schlender, Catherine Schmidt-Whitaker, Rachel Schroeder, Christine Schumacher, Deanna Scoggins, LaDonna Seliger, Connie Sims, Melanie Sinowi, Joe Slayton, Kevin Slayton, Courtney Smith, Leslie Spoon, Sharon Straszkowski, Jeff Tom, Leslie Tom, Mary Tyson, Deborah Versteeg, Richard Villa, Richard Vonderhaar, Charlene Wills, Donald Worth, Sheila Young.
Bronze: Talaba Adissa, Michael Babcock, Mary Baracco, Sally Benjamin, Josette Bidlack, Audley Blackburn, Kathy Blackburn, Glenda Blanchard, Elizabeth Botner, Susan Bowmaster, and Brash, Mark Bulger, Sandra Burgess, and Byington, Michael Byington, Leola Campbell, Susan Card, Kimberly Carmichael, Alan Casey, Kathy Casey, Dorlin Catron, Carl Chappell, Brian Chase, Wilma Chestnut House, Donna Clark, Nicole Kobe, Pam Coffey, Belinda Collins, Andrea Connor, Doreen Cornwell, Natalie Couch, David Cox, Patty Cox, Cheryl Cummings, Thomas Cummings, Sophia Curtis, Michelle Denzer, Linda Disney, Becky Dunkerson, Tony Eames, Eric Edwards, Paul Edwards, John Farina, Kathy Farina, Beth Fazio, Hazel Fields, Kelly Ford, Carol Francisco, Ninetta Garner, Kathleen Gerhardt, Jen Hawthorne, Mary Carla Hayes, Terry Lynn Higashi Akamini, Bruce Hildebrand, Linda Holliday, Pamela Holloway, John Hallstein, Wendolyn Hovendick, Marion Howell, Suzanne Howell, Betty Huffman, Karen Hughes, Aaron Jarrell, Blaine Jemming, Catherine Johnson, Jean Kalsha, Kristen Kelling, Lynn Coral, Martin Kuhn, Jeanette Kutash, Cindy Laban, Pauline Lamontagne, Kevin LaRose, Katie Lear, Mark Lear, Paul Lewis, Pamela Locke, Celeste Lopez, Carol Mackey, Raymond Marcus, Dora Martinez, Michael McCulloch, Gail Metoyer, Paul Miller, Kenneth Mitchell, Jean Marie Moore, Maureen Moscato, Marcia Moses, Marilyn Murata, Chantal Napier, Dusty Noller, Deanna Noriega, Michael O'Brien, Lorraine Olison, Mary Otten, Janet Parmenter, Kendall Perry, Teresa Petrie, Mary Pixarello, Deb Poots, Bruce Ratke, Randy Reed, Lynn Roberts, Bonnie Robertson, Stephen Robertson, Debbie Rosier, Sandra Rukonich, Diane Scalzi, Lynn Schneider, Delaney Schroeder, Kenneth Semyon, Darian Slayton Fleming, Jason Smith, John Smith, Ellen Sorensen, Joe Sorensen, Naomi Soul, Janice Squires, Candace Steppen, Monica Svopa, Thomas Svopa, Richard Swan, Ellen Telker, Lindsay Tilden, Charlie Tips, Ruth Tips, Thomas Tobin, Caroline Tays, Sandy Troiano, David Trott, Rhonda Trott, Robert Turner, Holly Turry, Vicky Voigt, Myrna Voda, Andre Webb, Robert White, Lewin Williams, Wanda Williford, Amanda Wilson, Judy Woolgang, Linda Yax, Debbie Young, Vivian Younger.
Thank you, sponsors.
Oh, wow. Absolutely amazing. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, ACB. What an amazing list of sponsors. And to think that our AI voice read that all in one breath. Actually, I want to comment just really quickly before we move on that we'll talk about it later in the week, but the amazing production for the AI things that we've done this year was really, really super. And so I think your names are really hard. I helped on the editing of that. Oh my gosh. All right, we'll move on. Thank you so much. This morning we are going to honor some people as ACB Angels. And our Angels program was started a few years ago in kind of honor of Brenda Dillon. And it's the idea is that we honor some special people who have meant a lot to us in some way in ACB, and it could be meant a lot to all of ACB or to some part of ACB. And so each year, people identify those and contribute to those. And we have an Angels website, and we have a video presentation about each angel. So if you haven't been with us for that before, this is what we do. And we'll do them on the days that we have them scheduled. So our angels for today are William Reeder from Ellicott City, Maryland, and Tori Ziegler from Wales, United Kingdom. So we're going to, So we have a video for these two, and so we'll play that now, and then I'll be back after that.
Against a glittery background, the letters A, C, B. Below each letter is its corresponding Braille cell. ACB presents ACB Angel, William Bill Reeder, December 14th, 1944 to April 25th, 2025. Colby Garrison, Greensboro, North Carolina.
William Bill Reeder, a life in service, a legacy of belief and unity. December 14th, 1944 to April 25th, 2025. William Bill Reeder of Virginia and Maryland brought light, grace, and substance to every space he entered. Whether performing on stage as a gifted opera singer or shaping young minds as the dean of the College of Visual and Performing Arts at George Mason University, Bill lived his life immersed in creativity, leadership, and purpose. His passions extended beyond the arts, from training and working with hunting dogs to cultivating deep relationships through decades of resource development. Bill pursued excellence in every corner of his life. Born in Kansas, Bill was a devoted family man whose love and pride in those closest to him grounded his extraordinary accomplishments. But it is his work with the American Council of the Blind that we remember most. Bill began his ACB journey as a member of our advisory board. From the start, he brought insightful questions, a collaborative spirit, and most importantly, a deep and unwavering belief in the abilities and potential of people who are blind. His respect for the lived experiences of our members wasn't performative. It was innate and immediate. When Bill joined ACB as a contractor supporting our resource development department, he became a transformational force. He had a gift for bringing people together, fostering cohesion, and helping staff and affiliates alike define clear goals and meaningful strategies. Under his guidance, ACB expanded its fundraising vision, strengthened partnerships, and found a greater sense of organizational clarity. Bill mentored many of our staff members with patience, generosity, and enthusiasm, always with the belief that success was best when shared. Beyond his professional impact, Bill's joy for life was contagious. His love of cooking made him a beloved contributor to ACB auctions and a favorite in the Alexandria office, where his meals brought warmth and laughter. He was a larger-than-life presence without ever needing to dominate the room, a rare quality. Bill Reeder spent his life making things better for people, for organizations, and for communities. ACB is stronger because of his time with us, and his legacy will continue to shape our future. We are honored to count him among our ACB angels. We love you, Bill.
ACB Angel. Tori Ziegler, November 13th, 1984 to July 28th, 2024. Kayla Allen, Mesa, Arizona.
As we reflect on the incredible individuals who have shaped our American Council of the Blind community, we turn our hearts now to Victoria, Tori Ziegler. Tori was a truly vibrant and beloved presence, a woman whose life reflected a deep well of creativity, compassion, and quiet strength. Born with congenital glaucoma and later losing her sight completely, Tori didn't see blindness as a barrier. Instead, she saw it as just one thread in the rich tapestry of her life, a life she filled with stories, connection, and care. Tori was an accomplished author, a gifted storyteller who gave us numerous children's books and poetry collections. Her published works, infused with themes of kindness, imagination, and inclusion, created worlds where readers of all ages, especially children with disabilities, could see themselves reflected with both joy and dignity. Tori truly understood the power of narrative to heal, to connect, and to inspire. Her writings are a lasting legacy of her creative spirit and her commitment to inclusivity. But Tori's storytelling extended very far beyond the written word and into the fabric of our ACB community. She was a quiet force, a steadfast presence that enriched so many lives. And for many of us who wonder how this incredible woman became part of our world, you would often hear her characteristic saying, "Patty made me do it," a phrase that always brought a smile and hinted at the playful spirit beneath her gentle demeanor. Tori was an active participant in the Crafters group, generously sharing her talent and encouragement. During cooking calls, she was the go-to for invaluable dietary substitutions, always making sure everyone's needs were met. As a friendly and welcoming host for ACB community calls, Tori had a unique way of helping others feel both seen and heard. Her dedication knew no bounds. As a proud international member from Wales, the time difference never stopped her. We remember her often hosting calls until the early morning her time. A true testament to her commitment, and as a cherished member of the morning crew, her gentle and kind energy set a positive energy for the entire day. While Tori wasn't always one to share everything with everyone, she had a remarkable gift for forging deep and lasting friendships with those she truly connected with. These were bonds built on shared laughter, mutual support, and genuine care. Her thoughtful comments, her humorous anecdotes, her heartfelt poems, her gentle wit, her open heart, and her commitment for being fully present in those chosen relationships left a lasting imprint on those who knew her. And as we recognize Tori today as an ACB angel, let us hold on to the essence of who she was, a storyteller, a dedicated community builder, and a cherished friend. Her legacy isn't just in the books she leaves behind, but in the countless moments of connection, kindness, and quiet strength she shared with us all. Tori's light may have transitioned, but the warmth of her spirit continues to illuminate our community and live on in our hearts.
A logo, ACB in print and braille, American Council of the Blind, together for a bright future.
Thank you. That's wonderful. I know many of us have talked this week about Bill Reeder and his legacy to ACB, and it's so powerful. I am so thankful that I had the personal opportunity to get to know him. And I also have a whole email folder of notes he wrote to me in the middle of the night with interesting funding ideas that he hoped I'd like. So that was good. And my story for Tori is also good. I last year, when we had a couple of those later nights of resolution debating that we had last year, we had Tori as the host for part of that. And it was late for us. It was really late for her. So I was like, Tori, what are you doing here? I'm hosting your call. Oh yeah, okay. All right. We are ready to move to our affiliate roll call. And so if you are an affiliate person who is virtual, you need to be in the affiliate delegate place right now. And if you are here, you need to be here. I know my first year I did this, I said it was time to go to the delegate room, and some of you got up and started leaving. That really frightened me. Don't do that. I'm a little older now, and I don't know if my heart is as strong. Might, pass out or something. So don't do that. But please be where you're supposed to be. For the affiliate roll call. Katie Frederick will be doing our affiliate roll call. I want to ask you to be very, very patient with Katie. All of our affiliate records are accurate. All of the credentials report is entirely accurate, but we had a little bit of difficulty with Denise not feeling well, transposing a few things. So a couple of times you've corrected us up here, and Nancy is verifying all those any corrections. And so we are, we're going to have it right, but we still might not have one right somewhere. So you can ask if you think it's different, and Nancy will verify those. So that is that, and I hope I've given everybody enough time to get where they need to be. Now, let's begin the affiliate roll call, and thank you for that. Katie.
Good morning. Whoa, that's loud. Okay. All right. Let's try this again. I hope everyone can still hear me okay. All right. So if I could have Alabama through Connecticut, please be prepared. And we will begin. And thank you in advance for your patience. So Alabama Council, 4 votes.
Alabama President Jimmy Smith cast its votes for 2 for Mr. Simeon and 2 for Connie Sims.
2 for Simeon, 2 for Sims. Arizona, 3 votes.
Good morning. This is Melanie Sonoe, President of the Arizona Council. We cast 2.5 votes for Kenneth Simeon and 0.5 for Connie Sims.
2.5 Simeon, 0.5 Sims. Arkansas, 1 vote.
This is President Joyce Wilmer. For Simeon, we got 0.5, and for Sims, 0.5 votes.
0.5 Simeon, 0.5 Sims. California, 15 votes.
Good morning, everybody. This is Guillermo Robles, President of the California Council of the Blind. California casts 14 votes Simeon, 1 vote Sims.
14 Simeon, 1 Sims. Colorado, 1 vote.
Good morning, everybody. For Colorado, we cast for Simeon 1, Sims 0.
1 vote Simeon.
That's correct.
If I could have Delaware through Illinois, please get ready. Connecticut, 1 vote.
Good morning. Here I am here. Connecticut cast 0.5 votes for Simeon, 0.5 for Connie Sims.
0.5 Simeon, 0.5 Sims. Delaware, 1 vote. Delaware, 1 vote.
Delaware casts 1 vote, Simeon.
1 Simeon. DC Council, 1 vote. Yep. DC Council, 1 vote. They should be in Zoom if we can have our host. Do I do one more time for them?
If you can't unmute here, you could try to raise your hand, and I'm not sure who the affiliate is.
We'll come back to DC unless you see them. So we'll come back to DC Council. Florida, 25 votes.
Where's the mic? I didn't know you were home. Good morning. Florida is proud to cast their affiliate votes 10 for Simeon, 15 for Sims.
10 Simeon, 15 Sims. Whoa, that didn't sound good. Georgia, 5 votes.
Georgia casts 3 votes Simeon, 2 votes Sims.
3 Simeon, 2 Sims. Hawaii, 2 votes.
Morning. Hawaii cast 2 votes for Simeon.
2 Simeon. If we can have Indiana through Louisiana get prepared, please. Illinois, 3 votes.
Good morning, ACB. The Illinois Council of the Blind proudly casts its votes 2 for Simeon, 1 Sims.
2 Simeon, 1 Sims.
Yep.
Indiana, 3 votes.
Okay. ACB of Indiana cast 2 votes for Simeon, 1 vote for Sims.
2 Simeon, 1 Sims. Iowa, 4 votes.
Good morning, Lori Trujillo Roush, President for the Iowa Council of the United Blind. We cast 4 votes for Kenneth Simeon, 0 for Sims.
4 Simeon. Kansas, 3 votes.
Kansas cast all 3 votes for Kenneth Simeon.
3 Simeon. Kentucky Council, 13 votes.
This is Debbie Green, Vice President of KCB. We have 13 votes, 12.5 for Kenneth Simeon, 0.5 for Sims.
12.5 Simeon, 0.5 Sims. Bluegrass Council, 3 votes.
3 votes all to Kenneth.
Can you repeat that, please?
3 votes to Kenneth.
3 Simeon. Thank you. Louisiana, 2 votes.
Louisiana, this is Leola Campbell, First Vice President. Louisiana cast all 2 votes for Simeon.
2 for Sims? Simeon. Okay, thank you. I can't, yeah. All right, Maine through Missouri. So, Maine, 1 vote.
ACB of Maine cast 1 vote for Kenneth Simeon.
1 Simeon. Maryland, 2 votes.
Maryland casts 1.5 Sims, 0.5 Simeon.
0.5 Simeon, 1.5 Sims. Bay State, 8 votes.
Bay State casts 7 Simeon, 1 Sims.
7 Simeon, 1 Sims. Michigan, 4 votes.
Good morning. I'm Chris Schumacher, the delegate for the Michigan Council of the Blind and Visually Impaired, and we cast 2.5 for Kenneth Simeon and 1.5 for Connie Sims.
2.5 Simeon, 1.5 Sims. Minnesota, 3 votes.
This is Nikki Schlender from Minnesota. We cast 2 Simeon, 1 Sims.
2 Simeon, 1 Sims. Mississippi, 3 votes.
Mississippi, this is Ralph Smitherman, delegate. 3 votes, Simeon.
3 Simeon. Missouri, 8 votes.
Greg Hollins, delegate from Missouri. Missouri cast 5 votes, Sims, 3 votes, Simeon.
3 Simeon, 5. 3 Simeon, 5 Sims, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Nebraska, 1 vote.
1 vote, Simeon.
Can you repeat that, please?
1 vote, Kenneth Simeon.
1 Simeon, thank you. New Jersey, 3 votes. New Jersey Council. Okay.
Good morning. Wanda Williford, Vice President, New Jersey Council of the Blind. We cast 3 votes for Kenneth Simmons.
3 Simeon. We can make sure that New York through Oregon are ready, please. New York, 8 votes.
ACB of New York casts 8 votes for Kenneth Simeon.
8 Simeon. North Carolina, 3 votes.
North Carolina votes 2.5 for Simeon, 0.5 for Sims.
2.5 Simeon, 0.5 Sims. North Dakota, 5 votes.
North Dakota casts 4 votes for Simeon, 1 vote for Sims.
4 Simeon, 1 Sims. Ohio, 8 votes.
Ohio casts 7 votes for Simeon and 1 vote for Sims.
7 Simeon, 1 Sims. Oklahoma, 15 votes.
The Oklahoma Council of the Blind cast all 15 votes for Connie Sims.
15 Sims. Oregon, 4 votes.
Oregon, 3 votes Simeon, 1 vote Sims.
They have 4 votes. But Oregon has 4. Oregon, can you repeat your votes, please?
3 Simeon.
Thank you.
1 Sims.
Thank you. I wrote it down wrong. Thank you. 3 Simeon, 1 Sims. Right. All right. Pennsylvania, 7 votes.
Pennsylvania cast 6 votes for Kenneth Simeon and 1 vote for Connie Sims.
6 Simeon, 1 Sims. Palmetto Council, 1 vote.
1 Simeon.
1 Simeon. South Dakota, 3 votes.
This is Lorraine Olson, President of South Dakota Association of the Blind, and we proudly cast 3 votes for Connie Sims.
3 Sims. Tennessee, 7 votes.
This is Robert Spangler, Secretary of Tennessee Council of the Blind. We have 3.5 for Simeon and 3.5 for Sims.
3.5 Simeon, 3.5 Sims. Texas, 12 votes.
Good morning, Madam Secretary. State of Texas, ACB of Texas cast 11 votes for Kenneth Simeon Sr. and 1 vote for Connie Sims. Yeehaw!
11 Simeon, 1 Sims. Utah, 14 votes. Utah. Utah Council, 14 votes. Yep. We'll come back to Utah. Vermont, 3 votes. Vermont, 3 votes. We'll come back to Vermont. ACB of Virginia, 4 votes.
Doug Powell, delegate for the ACB of Virginia, votes 4 votes Simeon.
4 Simeon. Washington, 17 votes.
Washington votes 15.5 for Simeon, 1.5 for Sims.
15.5 Simeon, 1.5 Sims. Mountain State, 2 votes.
Mountain State, 2 votes, Kenneth Simeon.
2 Simeon. ACB of Wisconsin, 1 vote.
Yes, this is Rhonda Lang, ACB, Wisconsin, and we cast 1 vote for Kenneth Simeon. Sorry about that.
1 Simeon, thank you.
Yeah.
We are not calling Wyoming, so we will move to special interest affiliates. If we can have AAVL through government employees get prepared, please. AAVL, 6 votes.
Hello, ACB. This is Anisha Correa, Vice President of the Alliance on Aging and Vision Loss. Again, I want to congratulate the Alliance for its great response rate. We had more than a third of our members responding to the poll, and the results are 5 Simeon, 1 Sims. Thank you.
5 Simeon, 1 Sims. Association of Blind Teachers, 2 votes.
This is April Martin with the Association of Blind Teachers, and we are casting 2 votes for Kenneth Simeon Sr.
2 Simeon. Attorneys, 2 votes.
Attorneys, good morning, ACB. Attorneys cast 1.5 for Simeon, 0.5 for Sims. Thank you.
1.5 Simeon, 0.5 Sims. ACB Diabetics in Action, 5 votes.
Good morning. ACB Diabetics in Action cast 4 votes for Kenneth Simeon and 1 vote for Connie Sims.
4 Simeon, 1 Sims.
Thank you.
Families, 4 votes.
Good morning. This is Natalie Couch, ACB Families Delegate. We cast 3.5 votes for Kenneth Simeon, 0.5 votes for Connie Sims.
3.5 Simeon, 0.5 Sims.
Correct.
If we can have Next Gen through BRL, get ready, please. Government employees, 1 vote.
Government employees, Pat Sheehan, 0.5 Sims, 0.5 Simeon.
0.5 Simeon, 0.5 Sims. Next Gen, 3 votes.
Okay. ACB Next Generation casts 3 votes for Kenneth Simeon.
3 Simeon. Lions, 3 votes.
Good morning. This is Chuck Jones, alternate delegate for ACB Lions. ACB Lions cast 2.5 for Simeon, 0.5 for Sims.
2.5 Simeon, 0.5 Sims. Radio amateurs, 1 vote.
ACB Radio Amateurs casts 1 vote for Kenneth Simeon Sr.
1 Simeon. Students, 1 vote.
ACB students cast 1 vote for Kenneth Simeon.
1 Simeon. If we can have CCLVI through all the rest. Library through Randolph Shepherd, please get ready. BITS, 25 votes.
18 Simeon, 7 Sims.
18 Simeon, 7 Sims for bits. BRL, 11 votes.
The Braille Revival League, with 103 members voting, casts 8 votes for Simeon and 3 for Sims.
8 Simeon, 3 Sims. CCLVI, 10 votes.
CCLVI casts 9 votes for Simeon and 1 for Sims.
9 Simeon, 1 Sims. Friends in Art, 1 vote.
Friends in Art casts 0.5 for Simeon and 0.5 for Sims.
0.5 Simeon, 0.5 Sims. Guide Dog Users, 14 votes.
GDUI 11.5 Simeon, 2.5 Sims.
11.5 Simeon, 2.5 Sims.
Yes.
Ivy, 1 vote.
IVIE casts its 1 vote for Kenneth Simeon Sr.
1 Simeon. Lua, 1 vote.
We have 8 votes. This is Mary Hopp, the alternate delegate.
You do, I apologize. Screen
That's
reader
okay.
error, 8 votes.
That's okay. Good morning, ACB. This is Mary Hopp, the alternate delegate for Lua, and we cast 6.5 votes for Kenneth Simeon Sr. and 1.5 votes for Connie Sims.
6.5 Simeon, 1.5 Sims. RSVA, 13 votes. RSVA, 13 votes. Yes, yes or no?
RSVA votes 13 for Simeon.
13 Simeon. All right, we're going to try DC Council again, 1 vote. And they're going to be in Zoom. DC Council, 1 vote. Renee Spray. Spray or Renee? We may have a phone number for DC Council, so if we can check for that in Zoom, please.
There are no phone numbers. There is no Ray.
Okay. Utah with 14. Utah Council, 14 votes. Looking for Sandy or Anna Jeffrey. And they're both virtual. They may be on the phone.
There are no phone numbers.
All right. Vermont. Vermont, 3 votes. Tom Frank or Pamela Hospital?
None of them are in Zoom.
All right, Madam Chair, I believe that completes the call of the affiliate roll call.
Thank you, Katie. That was marvelous for your first shot. I believe we'll be waiting a moment or two for the results, so we will wait for that. If you are an affiliate trying to call in on the phone on Zoom and having difficulty unmuting, we need you to let Cecily know so that we can try to make a different arrangement for you. But if the phone numbers were not in there, then I don't feel bad about that this morning. So we are already not calling Wyoming because they have never responded, and we will not be calling Vermont. We will try one more time for both DC and Utah because they have responded at a point. And so we are going to continue to try for those two. But Vermont and Wyoming will not be called. All right, let's see, how are we coming over there? They're not quite ready. Yeah, they're like Jaws. They say, working, working. Yeah, they're, working. Okay, so one thing that I want to talk about really quickly, and I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we're going to come back to the results. So there was some concern on whatever night we were here, Saturday night. It's been a long time ago. There was some concern Saturday night about the process for the election and whether or not I should have conducted the election for president. Robert's Rules does provide that can happen, but there were concerns about that. The two things that I believe that I did that were absolutely not correct, and I'm going to try to make up for this morning, or one of them at least, is that especially during the debate, I don't think of the election speeches as a debate, but technically they fall under the rules of debate. So during the debate, since I said my 45 seconds of debate, I should have definitely turned the meeting over to David Trott as our first vice president. So I accept that totally. The other thing, though, that I did not do, which is perhaps more significant, is that I did not call on Janine to verify that the statement that Anthony made represented her decision correctly. And so this morning, I believe that Janine is in Zoom, and this morning I'd like to ask Janine to verify for us whether she is in fact withdrawing from the election. Is Janine there?
Yes, ma'am.
There, okay, great. So that would be my question, Janine, if you would express to us that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I get 2 minutes, right, Ms. Deb?
Well, I'd like you to be as short as possible. Technically, for any kind of business other than in a regular debate, it would be 1 minute, but I will just ask you to be quick. Thanks.
I'll be quick, I promise. Okay, so I thank you for this time. I did take the election seriously. I was very serious. I wanted to run for president. After much consideration from very many people who spoke with me, a lot of the members reached out, and I took their advice and said that I needed they said that I should get some more training and I should work my way up and not just go for president. And I should trust you and your leadership. And so after that, I decided at the last minute to withdraw. So nobody knew, the board members who did know, but I still, when you asked me who my speakers were, I declined with that 5 minutes. And yeah, I do withdraw, and I will learn and run again for another position. Unfortunately, it can't be this year because Mr. Gabriel Lopez-Cafati is from Florida, and according to our rules, we can only have one person from the state on the directors and 2 for officers, as I've learned. So I have a lot to learn as president. It's a big step, and it was a big leap, and I thought I'd try, and you know, I have a lot to learn. So I'll be learning and I'll be growing, and I thank you for the time, and yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Janine. Hey, and Janine, some of us did try to change the number of people, not the total representation, but to switch it around. So if sometime members decide to do that again, you'll probably be on board to help them. So, all right. Thank you so much. All right, are we ready with the results? No? Okay. All right, we can't start our next elections until we have those results because we don't know what we're doing. We could have a door prize. No? You can't have a... Oh, she's not ready for the door prizes. It's okay. I'm sorry. We're not ready for everything, that's the way that goes. I do want to mention a couple of other items that have come to my attention and that I would have announced about. So one of those is that I was asked if we would be doing any possible thank you resolutions for things we're thankful for related to the convention, like we sort of used to do. And one of the things that happened in our process of changing how we do resolutions, you would not have thought it was really very good back on June 24th, 25th, and 26th to say thank you to everybody because we had hardly got started. So that's when we were voting on resolutions. So what we're going to do about that, and the resolutions committee has already approved that that's the way we can, is that we will, on Thursday, we will have motions available to be made for the thank yous that we think we're likely to be thinking of, and we'll have those for you to adopt. And then, of course, we'll go accordingly to send letters or do other things related to that. So it's not that we've forgotten it. It's just that we have to do it a little bit differently because our resolutions process it has changed over time. And so I think last year we sort of missed it. And although we sent the letters, we didn't do an audience participation piece on that. So I think we're going to kind of get that right this year. So that should work well. Okay, I still can't start the next election. It's okay. Yeah, huh? Oh, you want me to talk about menus? No, I can't talk about menus. That's not a good topic. I will say one more thing about, I still have had some additional feedback after Janet's comments about the fact that we were not able to have an on-site Catholic Mass, and I certainly am sorry about that. That is one of those things, all of those things, all of the religious services and some of the other kinds of things we do like that happen based on either members stepping forward who are qualified to do them, or members stepping forward who have connections who can make it happen, or relationships that the host committee has. And so, for example, Michael Garrett led the interdenominational service. We know Michael's here all the time, so he did that. We've had in the past members or residents of the local community who were either part of ACB or close to ACB in some way who have come to do the Mass or come to do the Jewish service or come to do other kinds of things like that. And so if you have those relationships in a city we're going to, and you want to put those relationships forward to the convention committee, Janet welcomes those. So it's never a personal thing, and we aren't selecting something in and selecting something out. It really is about who responds to us. And, so that is a challenge. And so sometimes we don't have the relationship. So I'm sorry, and we're kind of beyond there now, but I do apologize, and we definitely know that it's frustrating for some people. So I've continued to have some feedback about that. All right. They're still busy over here. Man, I think they're counting those beans individually. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay. David's going to take a moment of personal privilege that he would normally do when he starts being the presiding officer, and so I'm going to let him do that right now.
Y'all embarrass me. Each year I try to tell you, I told you a little bit about people that mean a lot to ACB, like I talked about our First Lady President last year, Kim Charleston, and a couple of more. Well, we're running behind today, so I thought I would only do one, and I thought it would be interesting to you to do one you've never heard of probably, but who means a lot to me and to Alabama. I started to school, and I won't tell you when, but I missed going to school with this gentleman. He graduated in the spring, and I started in the fall. He was my coach. He was a mentor to me during my school years. We became friends later in life, and he has been a strong advocate for the blind in Alabama. The Alabama Institute for Deaf and Blind is the largest service organization in the world of its kind, serving blind, deaf, and deafblind individuals. He has raised thousands of dollars for his local chapter in Talladega and tens of thousands of dollars for his state affiliate. 2 weeks ago, I was honored to be at his 80th birthday party. And one of the strange things this guy actually done, he got us a car at cost to auction for our state auction to raise money for the state of Alabama. But more important than anything else, when somebody has a problem and they need advocacy with AIDB or rehab, either my phone rings or my good friend, and I want you to recognize today who is live at the convention at 80 years old, Mr. Ronnie Garrett. Thank you, Madam President.
And he raised the mic a little bit.
Madam President?
Yes?
This is Artis Bazin. I lost my Braille Sense note taker last night.
Oh, no.
And I had left it in a restroom, and I went back later, and it was gone. It was in an ACB walk bag. Mm-hmm. And so if anyone happens to have found it and wasn't sure where to take it, please contact me.
Sure, and you can take the things, anything you find like that, you can take to the information desk.
Yeah, and
they're doing, and if you can't find artists readily, but oh my, that's so scary. Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
All right. How are we coming over here?
We need Palmetto's vote. Huh?
We need Palmetto's vote one more time. Palmetto Council.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
Amanda Selm. Can I make an announcement real quick?
I'm sorry?
This is Amanda Selm, Louisville, Kentucky. Can I make an announcement real quick? It's about the session.
Yes, sure, you can.
Okay. We are still looking for a couple of table captains for the ABCs of Advocacy event this afternoon from 1 to 3:45. If you're interested, please come see me over here at the Kentucky table. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I want to really encourage you to get your tables organized. The deadline for that is coming up, and we want to get those tables all squared away. And Janet will, of course, announce this when she's here, but basically, they need to be turned into the information desk. They need to have a table name. And you need to have lined up the people for them. If you don't have a table, but you are coming to the banquet, of course, they will find a place for you. But if you want to kind of control that, you need to do that. Are you ready? Okay, they're ready. They're ready? Okay, they are finally ready. Thank you, guys. Yeah, we're like I said, we're kind of a new crew. We're working this all out. So I'll turn it over to Nancy, our supervisor of elections.
We were utilizing all the toes of the scholarship winners, you guys, so now we have this done. So,
Okay, so I am going to give the total count for each individual with the percentage, and then I'll do the affiliates with the percentage, and then I will do the total with the percentages. So for the individual vote, 441 votes, or 75.2% for Simeon. Individual vote for Sims was 148, or 24.8%. For the affiliate vote, my rows are off a smidge here, I'll redo that. Okay, for the individual vote, it is 441 for Simeon, or 74.9%. For Sims, it was 148, or 25.1%. For the affiliate vote, 248 for Simeon, or 75.2%. For Sims, it was 82, or 24.8%. Grand total, 689 for Simeon, for 75%, and 230 for Sims, or 25%.
Congratulations to Kenneth Simeon Sr. Kenneth, would you like to say something?
Yes.
Thought you would.
ACB, thank you so much. We had a great campaign. We had to do it uniquely this year, but it was fun, and so many people offered support. I want to thank everybody who spoke on my behalf in nominating, which was Donna Pomerantz and my ACB of Texas president, Chris Prentice. And on the other day, yesterday, we had Mitch Pomerantz to speak on my behalf from California, and Alan Peterson from North Dakota to speak on my behalf. And I thank them, but I had so much support, I can tell you. Well, I'm looking forward to working together to make things happen for ACB in a better way. And I am so appreciative that I've been able to work with affiliates. Even the chapters have invited me to speak, even on Zoom. And it's been a pleasure of mine to help and share any information and resource that I have available. And I will continue to do whatever I can to strengthen our affiliates and our membership. Thank you so much.
And Connie Sims, would you like to say a few words?
Yes, Madam President, I would like to. First of all, I would like to congratulate Kenneth, and it's been a good race. And I do want to thank everyone who supported me, and I really appreciate that. And I will continue to work hard for ACB and continue all the things I do. And I do believe that ACB will continue to grow and be stronger. So it's been nice, and good luck. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, we're going to move on with our elections. And according to my scorecard, the next item of election will be the secretary position. The board has placed into nomination the name of Katie Frederick from Worthington, Ohio, who works for the American Printing House for the Blind, into nomination for secretary. Are there any other nominations from the floor? Nominating committee, yes. Are there any other nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor? Yes?
I move that all nominations be closed and that Katie Frederick be inaugurated by acclamation.
All right. So, all in favor? Yes. Okay. Katie, congratulations. All right. Katie, would you like to say a few words?
There we go. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. And I survived my first rodeo roll call and look forward to doing them in the future. Thank you.
Yay. Thank you so much. All right. All right. Okay. All right. So now the next position is that of treasurer. That's a really tough job. The nominating committee has placed into nomination the name of Michael Garrett from Texas. And and are there any other nominations from the floor?
Madam Chair, can I have
Yes, you are.
Can I have a quick point of order?
Yes.
It's really disrespectful and rude when someone wins or someone loses for a loud burst of applause, such as we just saw. And I just want to call that point of order. So,
thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's customary that people applaud the winner. I will not tolerate during the roll call or during any of the business of collecting the data that there be applause, because it is really, really difficult to hear. But once somebody has won the election, they deserve our acclamation. So now, are there any other nominations from the floor for treasurer? And for a final time, are there any nominations from the floor for treasurer? All right, it's been loudly moved and seconded that nominations cease. All in favor of voting? Michael Garrett is elected by acclamation. Yay, okay, thank you so much. All right, because Kenneth Simeon Sr. has, oh, Michael, I'm sorry, Michael to speak. I'm sorry. Oh. Yes, Michael?
Yes, Madam Chair. ACB. Thank you once again for allowing me to serve as your treasurer. You know, I've been a member of this organization for a long time. I've put a lot of my time and effort because I love you as people. I love the mission of this organization. I kind of go back to what Scott Thornhill said the other day. We have a mission. It's about members. And of course, as treasurer, it's about the money. But at the top is our mission. And we need money to secure our mission and make sure that our lives are lived better and we have a better quality of life. Thank you for entrusting me with serving to try to help us move forward. Go ACB.
Yay. Okay. Thank you very much. Now, I'm not jumping ahead of myself, I think. The next thing then is that Kenneth Simeon Sr. being moved to the elected to second vice president creates a 3-year opening on the board of directors. Kenneth has served the first year of that term. Because this will amount to more than half of a term, it will be considered the individual's first term, but it is a shorter term. It's 3 years. So I will now be taking nominations from the floor for the board of directors position. Let me say a couple of things to help us with this. There are several people who put their names in on email lists as being likely to be candidates. So I am assuming that if they're nominated, that they are still wanting to be candidates. We'll try to get that all verified as we go, but that is the assumption that I would be making. So if you are withdrawing from that intent, then please have your nominators know that so we don't have to go through another challenge on that. All right, so nominations are now open for the position of director.
Madam President?
Yes?
It's Leslie Spoon.
Yes?
I'm nominating Pat Tusing from Indianapolis, Indiana. She is a self-employed finance person.
All right, two. So is there, Pat Tusing is nominated. Pat, do you accept?
Hi, Madam President.
Hold on, Carl.
It's okay.
Pat Tusing?
I'm here.
Okay, do you accept the nomination?
I am Pat Tusing. I accept the nomination. Thank you, Leslie. My speaker.
No, not yet.
Okay, I thought you needed the speaker. Sorry.
Not yet, thank you. All right, just stay near a mic. Thank you. All right, Carl Richardson, I'll acknowledge next.
Thank you. Madam President, as a proud member of the Bay State Council of the Blind, I would like to nominate Cheryl Cummins, who is the Workforce Development Manager for the Lighthouse for the Blind in Seattle, Washington, and she also resides in Seattle, Washington.
Cheryl Cummings' name is placed into nomination. Cheryl, do you accept the nomination?
I accept.
Madam President.
Hold on, Jeff.
Sorry.
Cheryl, that's okay. I know everybody's eager to do this. Cheryl.
I accept the nomination.
Thank you very much. All right, stay near a mic. We'll come back to you for speakers. Jeff Tom.
Yes, Madam President, I place in nomination the name of Christine Hunsinger from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and she is a retired social security analyst.
That's tricky to say, isn't it? Thank you. All right, Christine Hunsinger from Pennsylvania. Name is placed in nomination. Christine, do you accept the nomination?
I do accept the nomination.
Thank you very much. Are there some more?
Madam President, this is Zelda Gebhardt.
Zelda.
I would like to nominate Patty Cox, and her occupation is full-time volunteer extraordinaire.
All right, Patty.
She's from Louisville, Kentucky.
Thank you. Patty Cox from Louisville, Kentucky is nominated and Patty, do you accept the nomination?
Madam President, I do accept the nomination.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Are there any other nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor? And for a third time, are there any other nominations from the floor? Yeah. Moving that nominations cease. All right. All in favor? Thank you. Okay. We got it. Now, we've got quite a few people who have to have their speakers. So what I'm going to do is ask you to identify your speakers. We're going to go through and get them all identified. If they are in Zoom, we'll need to have them ready. And if they are in the room, they'll need to get near a mic. When we call on each person's set of speakers, they can have up to 2. Those people will get 5 minutes total to speak. So that's per our standing rules. Someone asked yesterday if that was a Robert's Rules thing or where that comes from. That comes from ACB's standing rules. So that is something the members voted on. All right, so who's our first candidate? Okay, Pat Tusing. Who are your speakers?
Good morning. I want to thank Leslie for nominating me. My speaker, speaking virtually, is board member and attorney extraordinaire, Chris Bell. I thank him and I thank ACB.
Okay. Is just Chris speaking?
Yes, he's the sole speaker. Thank you.
Okay, Chris. All right. And who's next? Cheryl Cummings. Who are your speakers?
Good morning. My speakers are Deanne.
Get a little more.
My speakers, can you guys, yes?
Can't hear you. Okay.
My speakers are Deanne Elliott, member of the Resolution Committee and Bay State Council member, and Sarah Freeman Smith, J.P. Morgan Chase Fellow recipient for this year. Deanne's online, and Sarah's
here. Right. So Deanne Elliott online, and Sarah Freeman Smith, I can't say it either, in here. Okay, thank you very much. Who's next? Christine Hunsinger, who are your speakers?
My speakers are Jeff Tom, who is here in person, and Lori Sharp, who is online.
All right. Jeff Tom, who is here in person, Lori Scharf, who should be online, and Patty Cox. Who are your speakers?
My speakers will be Matt Selm, immediate past president of the Kentucky Council of the Blind, and Melanie Sonoy, the secretary for CCLVI.
All right. Matt Selm, who is here, and Melanie Sonoy, who is here. And I think that's all our people, right? Yeah. Okay. So we are going to start with Pat Tusing. And Chris, are you at a mic? Are you at the Zoom?
I am here.
All right, then you may begin.
I'm on Zoom. Thank you so much. So my name is Chris Bell, and I am a member of the American Council of Blind in Minnesota, and it is my privilege and honor to nominate Patricia Tusing to be a member of the board of directors of ACB. Pat is a fully committed member of ACB at all levels. She's a life member of ACB. She's a life member of BITS, and she is a life member of CCLVI. She's also a member of the Braille Revival League. Pat's passion includes fundraising. She will help to host the Planned Giving workshop in Dallas at the convention on July 9th. She's a member of the Resource Development Committee of ACB, and in that capacity, he raised $9,000 at 2 interstate auctions. As chair of ACB of Indiana's fundraising committee, he raised $6,500 for that affiliate state convention. He also has served on the fundraising committee for BITS and for CCLVI. He advises affiliates regularly on fundraising, and he has hit me up to advise Minnesota on fundraising. She is also very active in her state affiliate. She is a board member of ACB of Indiana. She is the vice president of the All-State Indiana online chapter and vice president of the Indianapolis chapter. Another passion of Pat is literacy, and this is very personal to her because prior to the enactment of the Education for All Handicapped Children Act in 1976, Pat did not receive any schooling. And so even at the age of 11, she was illiterate. However, she overcame that and graduated from Vassar College with a degree and also attended the University of Madrid in Spain. As a result, she speaks Spanish fluently, and she completely believes in furthering the literacy of children. She established a national project to promote literacy, and she works with parents from all over the country and has done this for 25 years without any compensation. One of Pat's other passions is to promote better communication and engagement of our members. He wants to enhance the welcome for new members and believes wholeheartedly in all efforts to promote communication. She was involved 2 years ago in the regional communications community workshops put on by Ray Campbell and Connie Sims, and she would like to repeat those, but include them for other regions. She also is a person who wants to hear from other members. And she says that if anyone can come up with a recommendation for a solution to a problem that they believe ACB has, they should email Pat and put solution in the subject line. So for all of these reasons, I urge you to support and vote for Pat Tusing to be a member of the board of ACB. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. All right, I believe that Cheryl Cummings speakers are next, and are they ready? Be Deanne and Carl.
Deanne is not in Zoom.
Deanne is not in Zoom. All right. Carl is here, huh?
So
Sarah's her other
Sarah's
speaker.
here.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sarah's here. Deanne is not in Zoom. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. We can, Cheryl, would you like to appoint another speaker?
If Carl is willing, I'd love to have him speak. Carl Richardson?
Carl, would you be willing? Are you able to speak for Cheryl?
Let me get it.
Okay, so he will be coming to the mic. We will have
Carl.
we will
Right
have
here.
Carl, and we will have Sarah. Are those mics live?
Yes, hold on just a minute, please.
We want you to go first.
Carl, are you at a mic?
Sarah has it.
Okay, he's getting there. I just want to have them both there when we start.
Okay, thank you.
You're good. Okay, just hold on one second. All right, what order would you like them in, Cheryl?
How about Sarah and then Carl?
All right, so you have 5 minutes. Sarah will speak first. Carl will then speak. We will give you the amount of time left after Sarah speaks. Go ahead, Sarah.
Good morning. I'm Sarah Freeman Smith, and I am a proud member of Houston Council of the Blind, and I am privileged to offer my support and on behalf of Cheryl Cummings. I want to let you know I met Cheryl in 2023 at the Schaumburg Convention. I was the DKM winner for 2020, but was unable to attend in person until that year. And we connected. We found out that we had a common love and passion for employment. And she had just accepted the role as workforce manager with the Lighthouse, and she talked about some of the things that she had a desire to do to help the blind and deaf community as far as employment. And I told her I am passionate about recruiting and had an HR background. So we connected after the conference, and as they say, the rest was history. We engaged and started doing some podcasts that she has made available on the Lighthouse website. But more importantly, she joined our employment committee and has been a valuable resource. We have partnered together along with other members of the employment committee to do monthly community talks, all focused on things on how you can go about finding work and navigating the waters as a blind and deaf individual. So I proudly hope that you will join me in supporting Cheryl Cummings for the board of directors.
All right, how much time is left? 3 minutes and 17 seconds, Carl.
Well, that's more time than I need since I'm unprepared. Well, first of all, as a member of the Bay State Council of the Blind and co-chair of the Audio Description Project, it is my pleasure to support Cheryl Cummings for the board of director position. I have known Cheryl Cummings going on 20 plus years when she formerly lived in Massachusetts, Boston, Massachusetts, actually about a mile away from my house. I first got to know her when she worked for the Massachusetts Commission for the Blind in the Community Relations Department. And hold on, my phone's talking to me, I'm sorry. So I first got to know her when she worked for the Massachusetts Commission for the Blind and saw how well she worked with the blind and low vision community in Massachusetts. Then I got to observe her as she formed her own nonprofit where she would work with youth and children blind and visually impaired youth and children in Massachusetts, working, teaching them job skills, and doing after-school activities so that they would learn to interact with others in community and acquire job skills and employment. I also got to see how she worked on the Massachusetts Bay State Council of the Blind Board, where she served in many various positions on the board, and saw how she interacted with the community and the board and the members of the Bay State Council of the Blind. It was always done with dignity, respect, and a willingness to listen to others. She also served on the Multicultural Affairs Committee here for the ACB, and she also has done international work and many other things in the community, and I strongly support Shell Cummins. So I know if you vote her, she will work hard, listen to the members of the community, and try to have a broad and understand and work hard to make the ACB a better place. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I can take you back.
All right, our next presenters will be those of Christine Hunsinger, and we need them to get to a mic. Let's see, I know one was Lori on Zoom, and Jeff Tom here in person. What order would you like them, Chris? Jeff first, she says. All right, do we have Jeff? Do we have Lori?
Yes, I'm here.
Great, thank you so much. All right, Jeff, you can begin.
Okay, thank you. I urge you, fellow ACB members, to support Christine Hunsinger for the Board of Directors of the American Council of the Blind. An effective board member should have involvement with and an understanding of ACB mission and culture at the local, state, and national levels. Chris Hunsinger definitely meets this requirement. She is the immediate past president of the Pennsylvania Council of the Blind. She also is chair of 3 committees for her state affiliate: Fund Development, Advocacy and Governmental Affairs, and Conference Planning and Programs. 3 very important topics for ACB board members. At the state level, she is also on advisory groups for special education, rehabilitation, transportation, and library services. Locally, she is on the Area Agency on Aging Advisory Council and her Transit District Advisory Group. Nationally, she is a board member for the Braille Revival League. She is a very involved member of the Alliance on Aging and Vision Loss, including advocacy on the Older Americans Act in Pennsylvania. She is co-chair of the ACB Rehabilitation Task Force and a member of the ACB's Advocacy Steering Committee. Like all of our candidates, Christine Hunsinger is very opinionated at times. I came to know her during my time on president's calls as president of the Alliance on Aging and Vision Loss. But more than being opinionated, she is very quick to ask questions about things she doesn't know enough about. Additionally, she loves to do research, and that's really an important skill, I believe, for a board member. As those of you may well know who listened to her on the candidates forums this year, she is caring, she is compassionate, she is hardworking, and I believe she will be an outstanding board member for the American Council of the Blind. Again, I urge you to vote for Christine Hunsinger for a member of the Board of Directors. Thank you very much.
How much time do we have? 2:23? 2:29. We have 2 minutes and 29 seconds. Lori?
Thank you. I urge everybody to consider voting for Chris Hunsinger. I have had the honor of working with Chris during my time on the Rehabilitation Task Force. I have gotten to know Chris while planning convention activities and other events associated with the Rehabilitation Task Force. Jeff has done an outstanding job of highlighting her many activities that she has been a participant within on her state level. I, interestingly, chose some words to help you remember to consider Chris. My first word is caring, for C, H for helpful, R for responsible, I for independent, meaning she's an independent thinker and does lots of research, and S, she loves to serve. So please consider voting for Chris Hunsinger for Board of Directors. This was a hard decision for me, as I have the honor of also serving with Cheryl on the ACB Women's Committee, and I see a lot of similarities between the two of them. They are both fantastic candidates. So please make your choice. This is obviously going to be hard now that we have 4 people running, so it's going to be a difficult decision for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. Our last candidate, final candidate, is Patty Cox from Louisville, Kentucky. And Patty's speakers are Matt Selm from Louisville and who? And Melanie Sonoy from Arizona. So which order are they going in?
Matt will speak first.
Matt will speak, then followed by Melanie. And are y'all at mics?
Yes.
Yes.
You're good? Okay. Go ahead, Matt.
Madam Chair, isn't democracy a great thing? Ladies and gentlemen, I rise in support of the candidacy of Patty Cox for a board director position on the ACB board. Patty's involvement in KCB and in its local chapters goes back many years. She served as the first president of the Greater Louisville Council of the Blind and helped to form the Kentucky Council of Citizens with Low Vision, our CCLVI affiliate. Throughout the past several years, she served as a director on GLCB's board. She's currently the president of the Kentucky Council of the Blind and previously served as a director. Within our affiliate, there is hands down, Patty is definitely one of the hardest workers that we have within KCB. She's often helps to coordinate our contracts for convention, help run logistics at the hotel of food and all kinds of volunteers and service. And she just is constantly working behind the scenes to make sure that newsletters are sent out, that auction items are sent. She's definitely a logistics go-getter, for lack of a better term. Presently on the national level, she serves as CCLVI's president and has served within that role with distinction because she's encountered some very difficult situations that she has navigated through and sought to have the organization come out on the better end of it for its challenges. I encourage everyone to consider Patty's candidacy, and thank you, Madam Chair.
How much time? 3:11? Thanks. You have 3 minutes and 11 seconds, Melanie.
Thank you, Madam President. My name is Melanie Sonoy from Phoenix, Arizona. I'm the Secretary of CCLVI and the President of the Arizona Council of the Blind, which has allowed me to work with and support Patty in many different capacities. If you know anything about Patty, you know she's a dedicated and passionate servant to ACB and any group of people she interacts with. ACB is in Patty's DNA, literally, and I honestly don't know that she could breathe without the work that she does. Patty is concerned with the direction ACB is going in putting more distance between our members. Even though we have a great community, she's worried we still need to work harder to unite, and that we're still not quite the family we were before COVID. There's still some distance between us, and she wants to work hard to bridge those gaps. In my experience as a fellow member, serving on boards and committees, and being presidential peers, and many others have these same experiences, we're able to go to and have the easy conversations, but more importantly, we have the hard ones about the topics we don't agree on. She listens, she shares her thoughts, she collaborates, and whether anyone changes their mind or not, we walk out without any animosity, and we get to go back to work together. It's time for Patty to take the next step and represent all our members and our low vision community on the ACB Board of Directors. She's ready to continue working and to be that voice. So I ask, please cast your vote for Patty Cox for the ACB Board of Directors. Thank you.
All right, I believe we have completed all of them. The ballot will be open again this afternoon for these candidates. You will vote for them vote now using your ballot code. It is the same ballot code all week, so there was some consternation about whether new ballot codes would come out or whatever, but they don't. It's going to work. So please use your ballot code. And then you may also vote to your affiliates in the manner prescribed by your particular affiliate. Okay, Rick, we're going to skip the video for now. I'm going to do it later so we can get ourselves a little bit back on track. And so with that, I'm going to turn the proceedings over to our first Vice President, David Trott, who is going to preside over the next section of our work today.
All right, you guys don't sound as appreciative as you did when I came up here a while ago. There you go, there you go. You know, this is an exciting time for me because last year, you know, we had a weird deal where we had one slot open and immediate past President Kim Charleston actually got my day and I went to the next day. So I got the talking book speaker, which is great. But what I really love is our brilliant young minds that we're going to bring before you today. But I'd like for you to recognize a moment of silence thinking about our good friend and the Scholarship Convention Chair who is in very bad health right now, Denise Colley. So please join me in a moment of silence. All right. Well, you know, like I said, we have our brilliant young minds coming up here, and it's always an exciting time of the year for me. It's one meeting each year that I never slip out to smoke because I want to hear from these people, you know, because they have so much to offer for the future of blindness and advocacy and the future of ACB. So at this time, I'm going to introduce the co-chair of the scholarship committee who will bring the scholarship recipients forward for you, Miss Patty Slobby.
Good morning, everyone. It is a privilege to come before you. We have a dynamic group of 26 scholarship winners. I am so proud to tell you that we have 19 of the 21 winners sitting here on stage with me. Two of the winners are not with us because ACB funds their coming to conventions twice as winners. So you can see that this group is very young and they have a lot of energy. I do want to thank both ACB and the American Foundation for the Blind for providing the money in the amount of $111,000 that these students have won. I will now present the winners in alphabetical order, and they will each introduce themselves, and you will see what an amazing group they are. Wasim, you may begin.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Wasim Al-Janazri. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm pursuing my master's degree in special education to provide our kids, our children, students across the country equal opportunity and to have full access to education to achieve their goals and be successful in their life. Thank you, ACB. Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. My name is Chris Buckley, and I'm from Portland, Oregon. I will be starting my final year at graduate school at Portland State University. My degree is in book publishing, and I'm specializing in editing and book design, and I also do a lot of ebook and audiobook accessibility work at the publishing house that is part of my program.
Good morning. My name is Andrew De Avila. Born and raised in El Paso, Texas. Live in Austin, Texas. I'm approaching my final year as a PhD student in leadership in special education and currently attending Texas Tech University.
Hello, my name is Amelia Palmer Dusenbury. I attend Boise State University in Boise, Idaho, and I am doing graduate studies in mathematics and computer science.
My name is Kyle Eldridge. I am from Los Gatos, California, and I'm starting at UC Santa Cruz in the fall as an undergraduate studying computer science.
Hi, everybody. My name is Andrew Gillespie. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, and I will be starting in the fall at Purdue University, majoring in computer science.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Noor. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Let's go, PA. And I go to the University of Pittsburgh, and I'm currently double majoring in political science and history, hoping to get into law school.
Hello, everybody. My name is Robert Lamb. I'm from Fort Collins, Colorado, going to Colorado State University, entering my final year studying environmental engineering with a minor in sustainable water management. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Aubrey Lawton-Schatz. I'm from upstate New York. I'm going to be pursuing my undergraduate degree in biomedical engineering at Case Western Reserve University in hopes to empower people with disabilities and healthcare challenges. Thank you so much.
Good morning, General Convention. My name is Riley Letterman. I am from Birch Run, Michigan, and this fall I will be starting a major in music therapy at Western Michigan University.
Hello, I'm Madeline Major, and starting in the fall, I will be attending the University of Minnesota, and I will be studying sociology and technical writing and communication with a minor in business law. Thank you.
My name is Noah Mayer. I'm from Salem, Oregon. I will be attending Northern Illinois University this fall to major in visual impairment special education.
Hi, my name is Luke McGraw. I'll be attending Sound Mind Institute studying natural medicine facilitation. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is John Mobley IV. I'm a current graduate student at the University of Michigan, and I'm pursuing a PhD in nuclear engineering education and a graduate certificate in science, technology, and public policy. So thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kit Rajpal, and this fall I'll be starting my business degree at the University of Texas at Austin. Thank you so much to ACB for this opportunity, and congratulations to all the other scholarship winners. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Frank Ritter, and I'm from Houston, Texas. This fall, I will be completing my third year in the doctoral program at the University of Houston, Clear Lake, where I will be studying education leadership My mission is to help people, and I want to thank the ACB for helping facilitate my mission. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ella Shrout, and I'm from Portland, Oregon. I am planning to go to Baylor University in the fall and double majoring in biology and psychology on the pre-med track. Thank you, ACB.
Good morning. I'm Charlie Strawn. I'm from Alabama, and I attend Auburn University as a rising sophomore, double majoring in law and justice, and then going to get my CPA, and then hopefully going to law school to study international law.
Hello, my name is Quinn Wagner. I'm from Reading, Pennsylvania. I'll be going into my freshman year at Cornell University, and I intend on double majoring in environmental engineering and chemical engineering, with the goal of pursuing and continuing my research in sustainable energy.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Lean Krasaw. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I'm going to be attending Duquesne University in the fall, studying finance and accounting, and I also want to get my CPA. And thank you, ACB, thank you, CCLVI, and yeah, thank you to everyone here, and congratulations to everybody.
Good morning. My name is Daniel Solomon. I'm from Miami, Florida. I'm a rising senior at Brown, where I study political science and urban design. And I just wanted to thank ACB and CCLVI for this wonderful opportunity.
Good morning, everyone. I am Muhammad Sohaib from Denton, Texas, and I'm studying, I'm doing PhD in special education, and I'm aiming to do my dissertation on language pedagogy for students with visual impairment. Thank you so much.
Aren't they an amazing group? I am just so privileged. Before I turn this over, I want to thank my scholarship committee on both behalf of Denise and myself, and the support that you as committee members have given me when I've had to step up to the plate to help out wherever I can with this committee. We have also begun a new program this year in mentoring. So some of you have stepped forward as well as committee members. Each one of us is a mentor to one of these or more than one of these students to help them and keep them in ACB. So we will ask the state presidents and the special interest affiliates to reach out to these young people and bring them in to their affiliates so that we can keep them in ACB. I also want to invite at least 2 members of each affiliate to come to our scholarship reception tonight. That begins at 7 p.m. and you can meet these people in person. Thank you so much. And I'm not sure if someone from CCLVI wants to speak or not. Okay, there you go. Thank you.
Good morning, ACB. So Angela Lanier and I are up here for our Council of Citizens with Low Vision International, CCLVI. I'd like to say CCLVI better. So just want to introduce our CCLVI scholarships. You heard from them a little bit, so yay. Thank you so much to Fred and Alexa Scheigert, who have been so generous through the years to donate to these wonderful students. They loved education, they believed in these low vision students, and they still support our scholarships through their estate. So thank you to them. I also like to thank Charles Cronin, our scholarship chair. I have the privilege of doing the freshman scholarship, which you heard from her, Lean Crissat from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and she's going to Duquesne University. So yay! And our graduate student, which I didn't know he was from my state, yay. So, no, oh wait, wrong one, that's yours, Angela, sorry. So the graduate student, Mohammed So he, from Denton, Texas, I moved. I didn't know I moved. From Denton, Texas, going to University of North Texas. So thank you guys, and thank you to him. And I'm going to turn it over to Angela Lanier.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, guys. And I am the recipients for our undergrads are Daniel Sullivan. He will be continuing his education at Brown University, and also Nora Corsett, who will be attending University of Pittsburgh. And we'd just like to congratulate them on their education and their future journey. Thank you.
Okay. Believe it or not, we're actually running back a little ahead. So that's an exciting thing, isn't it? Let me tell you my little scholarship story right quick, and then I'm going to turn it back over to Deb, but to come back in, I think, with our video at this point, if she's ready. You know, I met the young lady from Alabama Saturday night at dinner. And, of course, if you're from Alabama, you pick one, Alabama or Auburn, right? It's the way life is. So I found out how real smart she was. She did pick the wrong school. She picked Auburn. And I said, why did you pick Auburn? And she said, that's who offered me the money. So, you know, these guys are great, and this is a lot of fun with these scholarship winners. So I'm going to turn the mic over for a few minutes back to our president, Deb Lewis.
Okay, let me know. All right, we're good. All right, so Rick, can we do the Waymo video now? I'd like to, we have a corporate sponsor, Waymo, and very fine to have them. And before we do, I want to tell you my favorite Facebook story. Everybody talks about what's the most viewed page. Well, I think the page I've shared the most was Claire riding from the airport in Scottsdale, going in her Waymo car. And you have to see this, it's just great. We should show it. But seriously, it's so fun. She goes, I've never been in a car like this by myself before. Just cracked me up. I'm like so jealous. Rick, can we run that video, please?
Being independent has been a big struggle for me, and I think for most blind people, I really don't get to experience a lot of independence in my daily life, especially when it comes to transportation. So for me, finding Waymo and having this independence that I've just never had before, it's been the most freeing feeling ever.
I lost my sight when I was 25 years old. Giving up driving was probably one of the hardest things that I had to do.
A really significant challenge of being blind is the issue of transportation, because I can't drive. I need to rely on others for that basic requirement of life.
I started relying on rideshare options, and the biggest downside is service denial. I would have a service dog with me, and the drivers would drive right by me because they saw the dog.
Hundreds of times a day in the United States, drivers don't want to pick up a guide dog, strictly against the law, and they cancel a ride. An autonomous vehicle will never cancel a ride with a guide dog.
A woman and her guide dog, followed by a man and his guide dog, each climb into the backseat of separate Waymo vehicles.
When I got in a Waymo for the first time by myself, I felt like I was driving again.
30 feet to your left. A rider holds her phone with the Waymo One app open, integrated with screen reader capabilities and assistive audio cues, as the Waymo vehicle pulls up to the curb.
Just get on the app, tell it what to do. There's nobody else that you have to negotiate with. It was so exciting to have that feeling back of independence.
It's really powerful that Waymo has allowed us to kind of look under the hood as they're developing this new technology.
Waymo, in particular, understands and values the fact that we have something to contribute and Waymo has something to contribute, and that makes it a true partnership.
The steering wheel turns by itself as a Waymo turns a corner in San Francisco.
And 24 years ago, this technology didn't exist. In fact, when I first lost my vision, I remember sitting in my driveway behind the wheel of my car just crying because of the independence that I had lost. I could never imagine something that I could just go so freely and jump into. Now I can't imagine life without a Waymo.
It can open a lot of doors, not just practically, not just, oh, let me go shopping, but also emotionally. Also like, okay, I'm not dependent, I'm not reliant, I'm not a burden on somebody else. I'm my own person, I can do my own thing. It's a new sense of liberation. That's why it's so special. It's about freedom.
Partnering to build a future with safer, more accessible transportation. The Waymo logo appears, followed by the logos of World Blind Union, Lighthouse for the Blind, and Visually Impaired SF, Arizona Council of the Blind, Foundation Fighting Blindness, Texas School for the Blind and Visually Impaired, California Council of the Blind, Braille Institute, National Federation of the Blind, Foundation for Blind Children, Avista Center for the Blind and Visually Impaired, Blinded Veterans Association, American Foundation for the Blind, and American Council of the Blind.
I'm a little stressed because I didn't see any people from Lewiston, Idaho driving those cars. We got to have them out in the rural areas, don't we? Yeah. All right, all right. Our next item is actually one of our Diamond sponsors, but he's not here yet. So I wonder if we can shift things around a little bit. And Claire, are you around? Let's have Claire, and Claire, you can go for your whole time, so whatever, 30 minutes or more, but please feel free to do that, and then we'll pick him up as soon as we're done with you. Oh, Janet's actually got Brian, so can someone text Janet and tell her to send him on in? He's close by, because he's at the information desk. So I apologize, Claire. I'd like to just go ahead and have him do, I'm sorry, because I don't want to keep him. We cannot do door prizes until the end. They're still working on door prizes, so no door prizes yet. And we'll go ahead and have,
Well, I've got
yeah, go ahead.
I've got a fairly
All right, let's watch for Brian.
introduction for him since he's from J.P. Morgan.
Oh, okay, yeah.
First of all, I'd like to thank the program committee for giving me names I can pronounce, unlike you did when I was treasurer. Actually, I want to talk a minute about when I was treasurer, because this company came on board and really came on board big in support of ACB. And that company is J.P. Morgan Chase. They support us at our conventions. They support us at mid-year. And Scott will correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they support us a lot on several projects that we have going on throughout the year. They've also did leadership training and stuff like that for our groups. I know that we had Cindy go off one time during a board meeting so she could be in a group of learners with their out people. And it's just been so many things that J.P. Morgan Chase has done for us at ACB. So if you get to meet Brian today, be sure and thank him for what he does and let him know that J.P. Morgan Chase is a valuable, valuable part of ACB, and they made my job as treasurer a little bit easier. Unlike poor Michael, he's coming into a new world, you know, so it is what it is. But Brian is making his way up, and they are a diamond sponsor of this convention, J.P. Morgan Chase, and Brian Gill is the global head of the Office of Disability Affairs for J.P. Morgan Chase. Now, I read that last part first when I was reading over this, and I thought, oh, Lord, I've got one of those names again. But actually, it is Brian Gill. I can say that. So we're waiting for Brian to make his way forth, and we look forward to hearing his presentation. Okay, Claire, you have an announcement. Where are you?
As Hannah guided me up here, I wanted to take a Waymo instead. Just a quick announcement while we're waiting for our great sponsor to come up. In the agenda that was sent out last night, there was one error. So if you're going to go to the T-Mobile sessions, which we hope you will, we love our T-Mobile sponsors, it was printed that there's a session at 2:30 today. Just take note that that's incorrect. The first one is at 4 p.m. this afternoon, and then a second one with them at 2:30 tomorrow. So cross off 2:30 today, attend at 4 p.m. this afternoon, or 2:30 tomorrow, or both. Thank you.
David, Dan Spoon, I could do a quick announcement if you have time.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. First Vice President. Just want to make sure that everybody realizes that there's a wonderful opportunity to contribute and be part of the monthly monetary support program. We will have folks at Marketplace both on Tuesday and Wednesday mornings as you come into general session. For as little as a $10 a month contribution, you can make a difference for ACB, and half of that money can go back to your local affiliate. So it's a win-win for everybody. If you're listening virtually or would maybe like to do it a little bit later when you get back home, you can call and talk to Gene Mann at 888-999-3190. That's 888-999-3190. Or you can email her at askacbmms@gmail.com. askacbmms@gmail.com. For all of you, for the 280 people that are part of the monthly monetary support program, ACB and your affiliates truly thank you. You are making a difference. So please consider joining. For those that are already members, there's going to be drawings for those that have been in the program for at least 3 years for prizes, those that have been in the program for 5 years for prizes, and also new people that are joining for the first time. So give, and support the American Council of Blind. Thank you so much, David. Appreciate it.
And I think our 3-year winner and our 5-year winner will be announced at the banquet. So y'all thought you were getting rid of Alan Peterson. I think he's going to be making those announcements. And if you really need some persuasion, from one of your officers, I will be at the Marketplace on Wednesday morning. So, I'm a hard guy to tell no. And if you think I am, why do you run up on Michael Garrett? Okay, we are taking a short little pause here, still waiting, but we are very close to Brian, and I'm jealous I didn't get to ride in the Waymo car, so just hinting, if you see another one, call me up. Y'all be sure to stick around. We'll have door prizes, and we'll have announcements, all them pretty kind of things that we have every day. But we have a good crowd with us today. I thank everybody for sticking in. We don't have a lot of empty spaces. Okay. All right. We have now with us Brian Gill, who is the global head of the Office of Disability Affairs for J.P. Morgan Chase. Y'all join me in giving him an ACB welcome.
Well, thank you so much. So as mentioned, I'm Brian Gill. I have the privilege to be the head of our Office of Disability Affairs, and I'm also the firm-wide head of neurodiversity for J.P. Morgan Chase globally. I am a white male. I've been described as having a very robust white beard. I'm wearing a blue-gray blazer and brown slacks. So I want to talk a little bit about the importance of this work to us and the importance of the work of the American Council of the Blind. So when we think about disability employment, there are many, many layers of value. And I would describe this work, without exception, through all levels of our leadership, as a business imperative to ensure that we can attract, retain, develop, and keep the very best talent. Thank you. It's becoming far more competitive for qualified talent, and as we know, the largest pools of untapped talent with the highest under and unemployment rates may be the disability and neurodivergent communities. So we spend a lot of time figuring out how we can position ourselves as an employer of choice and also, by extension, the bank of choice for these communities. But in order to do that, we have to attract the very best blind talent. We need those lived experiences through all levels and layers of our leadership to ensure that we're developing products and services for this community. It's also been proven time and time again that diverse teams perform better. Accenture put out a study that firms that lean in on disability inclusion are 1.6 times more revenue, 2.6 times more net income, and 2 times more profitable. That's an amazing statistic. And that doesn't even touch on the community and culture components of working with somebody that has different lived experiences and is adding value in very unique ways. So when we think about how to remain competitive in this type layered market, we're making a number of investments, particularly in accommodations. We've got to be best in class. We've got to be able to attract talent, but also once they arrive, enable them to be their very best when they come to work every single day. That's on us. We're offering and investing in technologies, screen readers, magnifiers, braille displays, all of our signage. We're leaning in heavily on inclusive design in our physical spaces. It's not inclusion, and Judy Heumann said this a number of years ago, rest in peace, Judy, but it always resonated with me. If you can come into our office and use the bathroom, that is not inclusion, right? Inclusion is a seat at the table. You feel like you belong, you're valued. We do our part to make sure that you can be your best when you come to work every day. And that's our commitment and the investment, and where we spend a lot of time is making sure that we have the state of the art. And we're still learning. I'm still learning about AI and the potential solutions there. There's lots of it. But I did want to back up a little bit and just talk about some of the other things and kind of the starting point for all of this. Back in 2016, almost a decade ago, we recognized the important value of ensuring that we were the employer of choice for the disability community, and we understood the very large gaps that we had. So the Office of Disability Inclusion was created in 2016 to work to make progress towards closing those gaps and ensuring that we could attract the very best talent and be the employer of choice. Don't get me wrong, we have a lot of work to do. And I don't think any organization could deny that. But again, we're particularly focused on technology. One of the other places that we're really leaning in is on navigation assistance. We've worked with a company called IRA in our branch banking. Yeah, all right. In our branch banks, we have some additional technologies that through cell phone usage that allow our very important customers to navigate. But technology bridges gaps and opens doors and enables all of us to perform to our best. But inclusive design and people, I always say, I have some responsibility with our accommodations delivery globally, but I always remind ourselves and our leaders, the single most important accommodation across the board for all communities, any community with a unique difference, is empathy. How do you meet your employee where they're at and enable them to bring their best self to work. We have colleagues throughout our organization, and I often get asked, and this applies to different communities, what jobs do we have maybe for blind people? What jobs do we have for autistic applicants? What jobs do we have for deaf applicants? Every job we have. There's no carve-outs. We want talent in every corner of our organization from all of these communities to bring their lived experiences, their perspectives, and help us not only enable our workforce to be their very best working together, but also make sure that we can outcompete. I know there's other banks here, but outcompete the other banks for not only the very best talent, but also for the business. So we have blind, low vision colleagues in every aspect of our organization, every corner of our organization, amazing technologists developing our platforms. We have trainers. We have all kinds of jobs that kind of bridge outside of finance. We certainly have all the banking, accounting, finance jobs, forecasting, analytics, sales. But like a big city, we also have every other function. We have medical services, we have media, we have communications. Anything you can think of, there's a home for it at JP Morgan. We've also removed from most of our positions the requirement of a college degree. It's not needed. And getting access to education can be a barrier to entry for a number of different communities. But if you're interested in opportunities at our firm, we have jobs posted online and it is fully accessible. But I would welcome anyone who's interested in a career in financial services, and you don't have to be a banker. We have every kind of job you can imagine, and I would welcome the opportunity to call each of you or any of you colleagues if there's an interest in working for our firm. So thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate the opportunity to make remarks.
So you see, when I introduced about JP Morgan, we talked about the money, but you do see that the money is just a small part of what JP Morgan Chase is doing for the blindness community and ACB as a whole. So we certainly we love their sponsorship, and that's important, but we love JP Morgan Chase for what they're doing for our community. He did point out something that I forgot to do. Let me give you an audio description of myself, I guess. I'm a bald-headed white male with a gray mustache. I have on a pale pink shirt, a pale pink and navy striped tie, and a navy blazer. Did I do good? Okay. They're kind of a khaki shade, but they're dress pants. Don't ask me about the shoes. That's none of your business. I am an old diabetic, Our next report here is on a couple of things, and one of them, I'm not a fan of resolutions, but I realize their necessity. So if you ever hear that David Trott wrote a resolution, you better run and vote for it because something catastrophic has happened. Our next report will come from our Director of Advocacy, and we're going to get the advocacy report and the position of the 2024 resolutions. And at this time, I'm going to present our Director of Advocacy, and advocacy is one of our great parts of why we're here in ACB. And we have a great advocacy director, and her name is Claire Stanley.
Okay, let's lower this a bit. There we go. And thank you for the visual description, David. It sounds like you're looking good. Great. Well, as I start the advocacy report today, I figured I'd start with the 2024 resolutions so we can look back at what we've done over the last year and where we'll be going as we move forward. And then the second half, I'll talk about what we've been doing in the greater advocacy space in ACB for the past calendar year. So I'm just going to quickly go in numerical order for the 2024 resolutions. Just know some of these have gone quite far, some still have some way to go, but ACB continues to dedicate our time to the resolutions that were passed. So first, number 1, Resolution 2024-01, had to do with the use of shapes and Braille labeling for products. If you remember, this was kind of the product of some great relationships we built with companies like Procter & Gamble, who were starting to do tactile shapes on their products. But we definitely had a lot of advocacy groups from groups like BRL that said, hey, let's make sure we also advocate for Braille on these products. And so all the way back in October, feels like a lifetime ago, Scott and I had a great conversation with Procter & Gamble, and we're really able to advocate for the inclusion of not just, tactile graphics or labels, but also to make sure that we advocated for the use of Braille, if possible as well. Yes. Absolutely. So we're going to continue that conversation and ongoing relationship with Procter & Gamble. Since that October conversation, I've sent several follow-up emails and trying to continue to foster that relationship. Our next resolution, 2024-02, is one of 2 resolutions we had last year to communicate with the National Library Service of Library of Congress. The first one had to do with the spelling of authors' names. Both of these I'll talk about in concert with each other, but we've had great conversations with who we often call the Jasons, if that means anything to you guys. There are 2 great leaders at National Library Service in DC, both named Jason, that we routinely meet with. In fact, if you came to the DC Leadership Conference, we did a tour of Library of Congress, and you might have met one or both of them. So all that to say, back in October of 2024, Scott and I had a great conversation with the Jasons to talk about this and the other resolution I'll talk about in a moment, having to do with the spelling of authors' names in any literature that comes through NLS services. They were really responsive. Of course, they have to take it up the chain, but we brought it up to them in October and have subsequently checked in with them over a few times. Granted, just as an aside, there's a lot going on now with NLS and NLS potential funding, so we're trying to be kind and patient with them as things evolve under this new administration. But we have brought it to their attention and will continue to do so. The next one I'll just mention briefly because it's not necessarily in the advocacy space, but Deb can talk to it, and we've definitely taken actions. This was 2024-06. It's decision-making impacting members, and the actions that have been fulfilled within the last year is that an email account was created so that members can email in and provide their input. So this has been fully successful and implemented in this year since the last resolution, and if you have any questions, we can answer those. 2024-09, enhancing employment opportunities for individuals who are blind or low vision. We just want to do a shout out to our employment committee. Thank you so much for the dedication of people like Peter Altschul. One of the big points that we wanted to come out of this resolution, in addition with other things, was to hold an employment summit to talk about these issues. That was held this past April. Shout out to Scott Thornhill for his great leadership in doing so. The panel included people like individuals who are blind who are employed, people who are doing employment advocacy. We even had one of our scholarship winners from last year who's seeking employment himself. So great spectrum of perspectives, and we had a great conversation on employment. Obviously, this is a big issue. It's not going to be solved overnight. I wish it would. But I think it did some great work, and we're going to continue to work on this issue. So again, thank you to the Employment Committee, thank you to Scott, and thank you for all the participants. Resolution 2024-10, again, was one of the National Library Service ones. This one had to do with identifying books that are racial, ethnic, or culturally related research. And so I won't go into the details again, just everything I said for the former NLS were brought up in the same conversations. And again, we'll be talking regularly with NLS. 2024-11, promoting military dining services. This goes to services like those for vendors through programs like RSVA and related state services to get different vendors put into these dining services, which has become more and more difficult as we're seeing. This one has an interesting update, I should say. Shout out to Jeff Tom for helping us draft a letter to go out to RSA, the Rehabilitation Services Administration under the Department of Education. That's where we wanted to start because they oversee a lot of these programs. So way back at the very beginning of 2024, we reached out. They were so responsive, said, absolutely, we'd love to have a meeting. And the new administration started quickly thereafter. And they slammed on the brakes and said, we can't talk to you anymore. And so we had some silence for quite some time. And then maybe about a month ago, I poked my head out of the hole and said, I'm going to try again. And I reached out to them and they said, yeah, it's good. We can talk now. So we're really excited about that. But with convention in mind, we've had a hard time trying to set up a meeting. They canceled on us once. So all that to say, in about 2 weeks, many of us are going to meet with RSA, artists, Jeff, Scott Egan from the RSVA affiliate, Scott and myself will all be meeting with them. So we're excited. So thanks for all those leaders, and we will see what happens when we have the opportunity to meet with RSA. Our next resolution from 2024 was -12. This had to do with audio description for streaming services. I just want to do a shout out to a lot of our audio description leads. Carl Richardson, thank you for your help. I went off, oh, there we go. As well as actually a shout out to Clark Rockfall, our former director of advocacy, been really helpful. So we drafted letters, and this will go in tandem with the next one as well, but we drafted, I'm going in and out. We drafted some letters to both the Federal Communications Commission as well as the industries such as the WB, Warner Brothers, Netflix, etc., to talk about making streaming services more readily available with audio description. So we sent that we sent the letter that was drafted, and we included the resolution. So haven't heard anything back yet. The FCC has been quite quiet, but just know that we've made those initial introductions, and we'll continue to work with that. Oh, there we go. There we go. It's going to keep going on and off. The next one was 2024-13. Again, very similar. It has to do with accessibility of the next gen television providers. I will let Carl Richardson talk to you guys if you have questions about this, because the technology goes over my head. But it basically has to do with making television services accessible when we come up with the next gen of TV providers. The technology is really evolving and changing. Oh, thank you. Should I do this one instead? Perfect. Changing mics. So with the next gen television, we similarly wrote a letter. Thank you again to people like Carl and Clark Rockfall. We wrote a letter as a cover letter and sent the resolution again to the industry folk as well as to the FCC to really talk about the fact that as we move forward with this next generation of technology, that we're going to start seeing our television come through. We need to make it accessible for the blind community. Sorry, I'm reading with one hand now and holding a mic, so forgive me. The next one is Resolution 2024-14, and this has to do with making paratransit more equitable. Thank you so much. Shout out to our Transportation Committee. There was a big push to really talk about making paratransit more equitable because we all know from lived experiences it is not currently. There's long wait periods. The cost can be quite overwhelming. Can I put this in here? No? Yes. So,
just bring it so it's not in your mouth. There you go now.
Thank you, David. I can now read with both hands. Thank you. So this has to do with making paratransit more equitable. So I just want to do a huge shout out to our transportation committee led by Pat Sheehan and Connie Sims. They did a wonderful job doing basically some introductory, or I feel like that's not even a sufficient word, but some research to talk about how to make paratransit more equitable. They have since written a report that gives us guidance on where the problems are and where we need to go. The End Solutions talked about doing some advocacy collaboration with organizations like the Consortium of Constituents with Disabilities and other advocates. So thank you, Connie and Pat, for your wonderfully written report that I was just given a few weeks ago, and that's going to really help us move forward as we carry it on into the next year. And lastly, Resolution 2024-13 had to do with making more accessibility with QR codes and other barcodes. Kim Charleston has been our lead on this, so just shout out to Kim Charleston for all she's done. She has been communicating vigorously with a lot of the different industry folk who work in this area. There's still ongoing communications, but we're hoping to continue on those conversations and see where it goes. So it's one of those things where we wish it would happen, within a year span, but it's an ongoing conversation. But again, thank you to Kim for all the communication she's really been able to foster in this first year, and we will see that move forward as we go. So those are the 2024 resolutions. As you can see, some have made more progress, some are ongoing, but I think that's just, the nature of our resolutions. And so I hope everybody will work with us as we continue to see those move on and move forward as we go. The next thing, I just wanted to talk about some of our advocacy. Sorry, I'm trying to open my document. I wanted to tease Scott. Some of what he provided in his report the other day is what I was going to talk about. So I'm not repeating Scott. Scott was repeating me. Yeah, thanks, Deb. And some of this also came up at the board meeting. So some repetition, but I think that's exciting because you see what we're doing in the advocacy space. So first, I just want to review our 2025 imperatives and where we are. We've made some more progress on some than others, but that's okay. That's, as I always say, that's how the sausage is made in Washington, D.C. Things we had talked about in one of our sessions, getting legislation passed routinely, regularly takes more than one congressional session. So don't be discouraged if you say, this was our imperative for so many years. That's just how the game is played, and we're going to continue to push forward. So the first one is the CVTA. If you came to the legislative review yesterday, you heard me talk about it. The CVA is the Communications, Video, and Technology Accessibility Act. It's basically an update to the CVAA. So if you're familiar with the CVAA, it was passed 15 years ago, and one of the biggest elements for our community had to do with providing audio description on major broadcast stations like ABC. Well, especially for us millennials, but others as well, nobody watch broadcast stations anymore. Most of us are using Hulu, Netflix, etc. So the CVTA, amongst many things, is really trying to move audio description, other accessibility features into the new era. And I'm really excited that some of the language also talks about the fact that we're trying to keep it evergreen. So whatever TV looks like in another 15 years, this is advocating to make it accessible still to that point. We're working with a coalition of groups like Perkins, thank you, Kim, the National Association of the Deaf, Deaf Equality, the American Foundation for the Blind. We literally meet every 2 weeks to talk about strategy. We've been doing a lot of meetings on Capitol Hill, trying to get Republican leadership for this congressional session. So we're literally pounding the pavement on Capitol Hill. So hasn't been reintroduced, but we're getting there. We've been massaging and editing some of the language to slim it down a little bit to appeal to this Republican-led House right now, and we're optimistic it'll be reintroduced soon. The next one is the Medical Devices Non-Visual Act. This one has to do with making medical devices that we now use at home accessible, because we don't want to be forced into hospitals or nursing homes. We want to be able to access healthcare at home as well. This one has not been worked on as much in this session. We are really trying to work with NFB as well, because this was one of their big bills they've been working on. So I regularly liaise with one of the staff members on the policy team at NFB to see where it's going. But this one, unfortunately, has the least amount of movement, but we're going to continue to push for it. And then the last imperative, one that I'm especially excited about, and you guys have already heard about, is the Websites and Softwares Application Accessibility Act. And this one was introduced in this congressional session. So a shout out to the Congress member that we gave the President's Award to, Pete Sessions, from right here in Texas. We're extremely excited to have Republican leadership and bipartisan leadership. We actually, as of today, have 2 Republican sponsors and 2 Democratic sponsors. So I just think that's a great way, yeah, absolutely, to show that we can have bipartisan support on these issues, that they're important to all of us. And we're going to continue to push for more leadership and try to get further along. We do not have it reintroduced in the Senate right now. We've had a little bit of a pound on the brakes right now from our lead on the Senate side, but we're going to continue to advocate for that. And we're also looking for a Republican co-sponsor. So if anybody wants to help us on the Senate side, if you have a Republican senator, let's talk. So those are our imperatives. Next, I'm going to go over a few other pieces of legislation that we're following. First, we have 2 bills that I'm clumping together. We have the See the Board Act and EDV. These both have to do with providing early assessments of kids in the school system to see if they have a visual impairment as soon as possible, so that they can either get medical treatment and or they can get, TVI and O&M services as soon as possible. I was surprised. I remember having vision tests as a young kid through my school district, but it's only provided on a state-by-state basis, and these 2 bills would provide federal grants so that it can be done across the country in all 50 states. So very important. We're working with groups like Prevent Blindness to promote these bills. And as an aside, the See the Board Act that was introduced was actually co-sponsored by Representative Latifah Simons out of Northern California, who is legally blind herself. So pretty exciting. The SSI Penalty Elimination Act, one we've been advocating for quite some time, having to do with raising that SSI asset limit of $2,000 that many of us have been well acquainted with at some point in our lives. They want to raise that from $2,000 to $10,000 to catch up with inflation that has not been addressed since the 1980s. So way, way late. Yeah, exactly. So we're going to continue to advocate for that bill as well. Almost to the end of the legislation, but the Older Americans Act reauthorization. If you've come to, again, the legislative review session, you've heard about this. One, we're pushing for it because we know that older Americans are more statistically likely to have a visual impairment, so we want to continue to advocate for this. It was supposed to be reauthorized back in the last congressional session, and because of what was going on in Congress, it was never reauthorized. And 2, although we want to support the older Americans reauth, we do want them to include more language that would specifically provide services for people who are losing their vision, because right now there's nothing specific for vision loss, and that's a really important need that we have for the older community. So when you do reach out to Congress, say, yes, we like this, but please acknowledge the low vision community and the aging population. And then lastly, I won't spend much time, but I just wanted to recognize that we had been following the reconciliation package. If any of you participated in our Speak For campaign, which I'll talk about in just a moment, thank you for participating. That was our first campaign. Unfortunately, fortunately, however you want to look at it, the reconciliation package was voted through last week, so the no further action can be taken. Medicaid dollars were cut, so we just have to wait and see how that'll impact the disabled community, but just know we've been following that as well. Next, I'll just talk very briefly. You heard Scott talk about it. He stole my thunder. But we wanted to talk about the Speak For advocacy platform. Absolutely. So if you didn't hear Scott talk about it, the Speak For platform is where we can create what we call campaigns. We've been sending them out mostly through the announce list, but we've talked with our communications consultant, and we'll probably start sending those out through social media as well. Literally, we explain the bill that we want you to advocate for, and we give you a link. All you have to do is click on that link. It'll give you a pre-written letter, so you don't even have to write it if you don't want to, but you can amend it and write your own personal anecdotes if you'd like. Put in your contact information. It'll send it right over to your Congress members, House, Senate, both individually, depending on where it's being introduced. So we hope people are participating. I gave some statistics at the board meeting. I'm going to bring them up again. I looked, I have the authority to look and see who participated, so I'm watching you. And as of when I looked yesterday, we only have had, well, I shouldn't say only, that sounds negative, but we've had 163 people participate. You've participated in multiple, so it's been over 440 emails, but only 163. I think we have more than 163 people in this room today. So please, everybody, participate as much as you can. It's a great tool, and we really want our voice to be heard. Moving on to what's going on in the administrative government right now through the executive branch. Definitely a new place to be these days. We're learning a lot, trying to make relationships. So for instance, excited that we get to talk with RSA in a couple of weeks. But there hasn't been, just by virtue of this particular executive branch that's not as keen on doing regulation creation, there haven't been as many opportunities to submit comments to things, but there have been a few, so I'll just highlight those. The main one that I've talked about recently is what we call the direct final rule through the Department of Energy. The direct final rule put out language that would change how entities under the Department of Energy would comply with Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act. The direct final rule used language that basically said when DOE builds new buildings, they don't have to necessarily adhere to the specifics of Section 504 regs, but that they have the ability to be flexible in how they make buildings accessible. So we obviously said we want you to adhere to 504. Don't change it. Don't mess with it. We want 504 to be respected and upheld. They also talked about the fact that they were using the direct final rule process, and that's just a way to do something very quickly. And so in our comments, in addition to supporting Section 5 and 4, said, do not do a direct final rule. There's been enough comment that they shouldn't be able to use that process, but instead we need to go back to a more traditional notice of proposed rulemaking process. So if this does go through, it's actually supposed to come into effect on July 15th, so very soon. We haven't heard a peep since we submitted the comments. So if you're not on the announce list, join the announce list, because we'll definitely share what we hear as soon as that comes out, or if we hear anything. And then moving to the end, I just wanted to go through some of our litigation reports. Scott, again, did some great reports on this, but the big one we've talked about is the LabCorp outcome. Scott reported on that, but in kind of the quick summary of it is that it was initially taken on, or got a writ of certiorari, the legal term, so it was going to be heard by the Supreme Court. Just based on the makeup of the Supreme Court and even just the history over the last 35 years, the Americans with Disabilities Act has not always had the best results through the Supreme Court, so the greater disability community was nervous. But it did go up to the Supreme Court, and then they dismissed it. They sent it back down to the lower courts, as Scott talked about. So that was a big sigh of relief for all of us. We don't know what'll happen at the lower courts, but at least for now, we are, in a good place. The big concern with the question that was brought before the Supreme Court had to do with what would qualify as receiving damages as a class action lawsuit, and it would have made it more difficult for people to bring class action lawsuits under the Americans with Disabilities Act. We want to be able to bring class action lawsuits. So at least for now, we are in a place where we feel more comfortable, and what will happen at the lower district court, we don't know. But again, ACB will keep you posted. Sign up for that announce list. And I will just close by talking about that. If you're not on the announce list, please check that out. Everything we post there, we also put on the website. So go to acb.org. We want you to go there. But the announce list is another place where you can get information. You can subscribe to it, and then as things happen, I just send out timely pieces of what's going on in Washington, D.C., etc. We also do a bi-weekly review where we re-summarize everything we've talked about, as well as what's gone out through Speak For, what kind of meetings and advocacy we've done, what Capitol Hill visits we've had. So we hope that's helpful and informative on what we're doing in the advocacy space. And that's all I got for you today. Thank you so much.
Okay, we're doing pretty good. So what we're going to do, if you have any questions, we're going to let Claire take, let me look at my time here. Questions for 10 minutes. I got the word from the president, and I mind well. But remember, when you come to the mic with your question, your name and where you're from, please.
And don't forget about Zoom, please.
Yep.
Doug Powell from Virginia. Claire, I was wondering that the Supreme Court decision that says that the injunctions can't be nationwide anymore, how does that affect our advocacy efforts?
Can you expand on which one you're talking about, Doug? I must admit I'm not familiar with the one you're talking about.
The Supreme Court just came down recently with a decision that apparently a district federal court cannot do an injunction for the entire country. So apparently that means that it's going to be sort of state by state or district by district, and it might be good for us, because if somebody passes if somebody gets through something that's against us, then it wouldn't be nationwide either. But I'm wondering if it's going to make it more difficult for us to have things go nationwide. Also, we're going to probably have to go district by district as well. I don't know if you've looked at that at all, and any comments on that.
Yeah, thanks, Doug. I must admit I haven't read the ruling, so I will definitely review it and send something out over the announce list. But basically, from what I'm hearing, I think you're exactly right. When it comes to those kinds of things, we're definitely in an era where the Supreme Court is more favorable to things being done on a state-by-state basis versus an overall federal basis. So I think you voiced it well, that it can have positive impacts in some respects and what I would call really frustrating results in other situations, because a lot of times, at least in the advocacy space, if things are in our favor, we of course want it to be done federally, because then it's done in one fell swoop, and then we don't have to jump from state to state. However, if we are in situations where it has a more, what we'll call negative effect, then it could be a little less detrimental, I'll call it. So it's one of those things where it could have negative or positive impacts. But I'll just close with this answer by saying, because of the nature of the Supreme Court and just the way our government is led right now on a state-by-state basis, that just shows why state affiliates, local affiliates, we got to be doing things even lower at the lower level, because that's just how we're being governed right now. So start advocating in your counties and in your states.
We have a hand in Zoom, our first of 4, if you're ready.
Yep.
Michael Byington.
All right, Claire, thank you very much for everything you're doing. And there's absolutely, I don't know how you get it all done. So this is in no way suggesting that there needs to be different priorities or anything, but it would help me to know when someone sends an advocacy situation in to the national office through advocacy@acb.org, what happens to that request? Who processes it, and what kind of timeline we can expect on an answer on those kinds of requests?
Yeah, thank you, Michael. That's a great question. And so just to kind of restate that, if you're not familiar, we have an advocacy email account. So you can email any advocacy question at advocacy@acb.org, and we will respond to it. We are a small but mighty advocacy team, so I will admit I can't look at it, every day, all day, but I try to look at it every few days to respond to it. And it's one of those things, I'm going to use my lawyer term, it depends. But depending on what it is, we'll respond in different ways. If it's literally an individual advocacy issue, we've had some, because we don't have an advocacy and outreach specialist right now, we will hopefully very soon. We've been having some really amazing interns who have been helping us. So we do a lot of research on those direct services, and we'll call or email them back. So those we try to do fairly quickly. If it's looking like some kind of overarching issue, that's when I start to collect the emails and try to do some, thought process on how we might advocate for those on a greater level. So again, it does depend. But if it's an individual issue, we try to respond to that more quickly. But if we're seeing something that's a little more overarching, that does tend to take a little bit more time because we're just trying to figure out where to go with it. And sometimes the issues might go to other places, so we might send it to a committee, we might send it to a specific affiliate because it's state specific. Now that Colby is doing our accessibility training, shout out to Colby, sometimes we're bopping that over to her, so sometimes it is figuring out where it would be best assessed for where it'll go next. One more, I was told.
Okay, Todd, you may unmute.
Can you hear me, Claire?
Yes.
Okay. My question is this. The announcements list, is that for announcements only? Because I heard you mention about links with pre-written letters. Do those appear in the announcements list, or is that just for announcements only?
Okay, thank you. David was tapping on my shoulder. Announce is different than Speak For. Speak For is the software that allows us to send out campaigns. Announce is purely just an email list we use to send things out. Now we do send out Speak For campaigns through Announce, but sometimes the emails that go out through Announce might not have a Speak For campaign. They might just be a summary of what's been going on in DC. Okay. Do we have time for more, or are we?
Janet, if you will make your way to the microphone.
I am at a microphone, so whenever you want me, I am yours. If Claire wants to do one more, that's up to you.
One more, Deb. One more.
And I've heard we have more, so please feel free to come and find me the next few days, and I'd be more than happy to answer questions one-on-one. One more question.
Any questions in the room?
In the room?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Say your name and where you're from.
Yeah, Claire, my name's Taylor Cooper. I'm from Houston, Texas. I've been actually working on this myself through keynote speeches. One of them is Beyond Barriers, Empowering Inclusion and Resilience. Regarding the Websites and Software Accessibility Act, I did see that, how Congressman Pete Sessions, he's sponsoring it. It's great. How else could I help y'all here? Because I know Senator Cruz could really be good at sponsoring this too. So what's other ways I could help get this passed?
Absolutely. We always encourage everybody to reach out to their representatives and their senators to talk about any issues. So one big plug, come to Hill Day every year, please, in March. But as of right now that we're in July, just reaching out. Anybody can reach out to these offices via phone, via email, old school snail mail if you want, and just share your stories. Write them a letter, give them a call, tell them the name of the bill, which in the House right now is HR 3417, and just encourage them on the House side to co-sponsor it or on the Senate side to introduce it. And I always tell people as constituents, I think the best way to encourage them to introduce a bill or sponsor a bill is by sharing your own personal stories. So for instance, with this bill, if you had a job and you couldn't do it because the software used was inaccessible, share that story. If you wanted to go online and buy a product and you couldn't do it because the website was inaccessible, share that story. So tell your stories is very powerful.
Okay, awesome.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Again, feel free to find me this week.
All right. Thank you so much, Claire. And for those of you that had other questions, Claire will be around this week, and then always send her an email or a call. She'll be happy to answer them for you. She's very responsive, and we're very excited to have Claire on board. She does a great job for us. All right, I hate to give this lady a mic because she'll talk all day. Here is our convention coordinator, who I know you'll love to hear from, Ms. Janet Dickelman.
I'll get you back for that, David. Don't you worry. All right, everybody, good morning. Hope everyone's having a great time at the convention. Yay, all right, good. I want to apologize to our host committee. I know they were ready and willing to hand out door prizes today. Today, I'm going to be doing that, and then tomorrow we will have it done by the host committee. It just took a little while to get some door prize information together. But I'm going to make you listen to my announcements before we do door prizes. That way you'll stay here. The people from Carter Blood Center are here in Windsor-Cockrell. They have committed to be with us today and tomorrow. They are looking for people. They have apparently no one scheduled for tomorrow at this moment, and they still have some slots scheduled for today. So Hannah has sent out the information several times, and it's in the newspaper on how to connect with them. And blood donation is such an important thing. Please consider donating to them. Next thing, we have some lost items. First of all, one thing that we are looking for that has not shown up anywhere is a Braille sense. If anyone has a Braille sense, has seen one that does not belong to them, please let us know at the information desk. We also have a blue throw blanket. We have a Patriots. Any Patriots fans in here? We have a Patriots thermos.
No,
I know.
no Patriots fans.
Okay, well, for the one Patriot fan who left his or her thermos somewhere, it is at the information desk. And also we have a little wooden keychain that has cut out the word love, if that belongs to someone. It doesn't have any keys on, but that is also at the information desk. All right, would you guys like some door prizes? All right, thank you. And one other thing I didn't have on my notes, but I want to make sure you all make sure occasionally we do have a room change. We do have that information in the newspaper that is sent out on Hannah's email list every day, and make sure you watch for those. We try not to have to change rooms, but sometimes it does happen. So make sure you look for that. All right, door prizes. Karen Steiner, who is here from Texas and is in person, she receives a tote bag from International Association of Audio Information, and it has a mug and a cozy and some carabiners and all kinds of cool stuff, and that is at the information desk, so just come see me and we'll get that to you. Doreen Cornwall, who is joining us virtually, has $25 from Arizona Council of the Blind, and we will send that to you, Doreen. Janice Squires, who is also joining us virtually, has $25 from Florida Council of the Blind, which will be sent out to her. Brenda Uptain, who I know is here in person with us, has a custom pen that was donated by Dan Lovell, who is a first-time exhibitor, and he's here in our exhibit hall. And this pen is made out of red and white rondite, which is a stone, and it sounds really cool. So Brenda will get that to you. And also, Lynn Merrill, who is joining us virtually, has a $25 Visa gift card from ACB of Texas. And that is what we have for door prizes today.
Oh, well, since you didn't call Trot, you need to do that tomorrow.
Since I didn't what?
Since you didn't call Trot, you need to be sure and do that twice tomorrow.
Oh, okay. I'll make sure I do that. All right. And one other quick thing. The tours on Wednesday for Candy and for Envision Dallas, are leaving at 12 o'clock. So make sure you're out there for the bus. Leaving means leaving, people. Does not mean we're going to consider leaving. It means we are gone. So make sure you're out to the bus at least 15 minutes, preferably up to 30, so you can get on the buses, because they're there waiting for us. All right, thank you very much.
Okay, there being no further business today, you are adjourned. Please be here on time in the morning. Thank you so much.
A logo, ACB in print and braille, American Council of the Blind, together for a bright future.